I'm 78, and I've spent my life thinking that if I just did everything perfectly, life would be safe. I thought I was protecting myself, but really, I was trapping myself. I didn't realize how much it was taking from me until it was too late to fix. And the worst part? The harder I tried, the more I missed. Missed moments that could never come back. If I could tell you one thing about perfection, it would change the way you live, but I wonder if you'd believe me. I remember the mornings, so many mornings, sitting at the kitchen table with a cup of tea that was never quite hot enough, papers scattered around me, lists I couldn't finish. I thought if I got everything right, my work, my home, my family, then maybe life would make sense. Maybe I'd finally feel that quiet satisfaction I saw in other people. But it never came. Not really. Not the way I imagined. There were the birthdays I planned endlessly, thinking the decorations, the cake, the timing had to be perfect. And in the end, I can barely remember the smiles, only the stress. I see my daughter's face in pictures, holding some school project I criticized instead of praising. I thought she could do better, wait until it was right. And now, looking at those photographs, all I see is what I missed. The laughter, the pride, the little messy joy that I told myself wasn't enough. I remember saying no to trips, postponing visits, holding back letters I meant to send because they weren't perfect. I thought perfection was respect, love, care, but it was really fear. Fear that I wouldn't measure up, fear that the world would see my flaws. And as I sit here now, alone with these dusty albums and letters, I feel the weight of all those perfect moments that never happened. It's funny, or maybe it's tragic, that perfection feels noble. It feels right. People nod at you. They praise your discipline. And yet, what do you get for it? A house that's too clean, an apology never made, a hug withheld because it wasn't timed just right. Life slips past while you're arranging it like a display. And sometimes you don't even notice until it's gone. And now I sit here, 78, and I think maybe it wasn't just about the things I missed. Maybe it's about the person I was too afraid to be. The one who could have made mistakes and laughed, who could have shown love without calculating it, who could have lived in the messiness of life instead of planning it into submission. I guess what I'm trying to say is the chase for perfection is quiet, seductive, and it steals everything from you without you even realizing. And as I look back, I can't help but wonder, how many moments, how many connections did I lose because I thought they had to be perfect first? And then there was, my biggest regret. But that's something I can't explain yet. I think it started when I was very young, 7, maybe 8. My father, he was a quiet man mostly, but every so often his disappointment filled the room. I remember him looking at my schoolwork, tracing his finger over smudged ink or uneven letters and saying, "Do it again. Do it right this time." Not loud, just heavy. And I learned early that mistakes weren't forgiven. Mistakes were shameful. I wanted his approval. I wanted even a small nod, a word of praise. So I started doing everything as perfectly as I could, or at least what I thought was perfect. I erased lines, rewrote sentences, polished my shoes, straightened my room until the floor shone. Every action felt like a test of my worth. I thought I was disciplined, but now, looking back, I see that it was fear. Constant, quiet fear. Fear of not being enough. School only made it worse. Teachers praised neat essays, flawless handwriting, perfect projects. Every A felt like a lifeline, every B a failure. I carried that into adulthood, thinking that perfection in work, marriage, parenthood would somehow make life safe, make me valued, make me loved. By my 20s, I was living according to rules I didn't write. Shoulds, musts. The perfect job, perfect apartment, perfect relationship. And outwardly, maybe I had them. But inside, there was tension. There was anxiety. There was emptiness. Nothing was ever enough. Invitations declined because the timing wasn't right. Letters unsent because the words weren't perfect. Moments lost, all waiting for a life that was never perfect. Perfectionism. It feels noble when you're young, responsible, ambitious, but it quietly steals your life. The moments you'll never get back, the people you'll forget to reach, the days that vanish without notice. And it takes decades before you even realize what it's done. Perfectionism didn't arrive suddenly. It didn't announce itself as a problem. It came disguised as responsibility, as pride, as wanting to do things right. By my 30s, people trusted me. At work, I was the one who stayed late, the one who checked everything twice, the one who didn't miss deadlines, didn't make careless mistakes. From the outside, it looked admirable. From the inside, it felt necessary. Like if I loosened my grip even slightly, everything would fall apart. I told myself I was being thorough. What I really was afraid. Afraid of being wrong. Afraid of disappointing people. Afraid of being seen as careless or average or easily replaced. So I tightened my standards. I rewrote emails 3, sometimes 4 times before sending them. I delayed projects because they weren't ready yet. I corrected people mid-sentence, not because they were wrong, but because they weren't precise enough. And I brought that same tension home with me. Dinner had to be on time. The house had to be in order. The children's homework had to be done properly. If something was messy, unfinished, or uncertain, I felt restless, uneasy, like I couldn't fully breathe until it was fixed. What I didn't understand then was this. Perfectionism doesn't just raise standards, it quietly creates distance. My wife stopped asking for my help. She'd say, "I'll just do it myself," and smile. I thought she was being considerate. Years later, I realized she was tired. Tired of being corrected. Tired of feeling measured. Tired of never quite getting it right. My children learned not to show me unfinished things. Not drawings, not ideas, not half-formed thoughts. They waited until something was polished, safe, approved. I mistook that silence for independence. It wasn't. It was caution. I truly believed I was helping them succeed, preparing them for a hard world, teaching discipline, teaching excellence. But excellence without warmth feels cold, and structure without softness feels like judgment. The truth I avoided for years was this. I wasn't chasing perfection because I loved order. I was chasing it because I didn't feel like I was enough without it. And once I saw that, I began to realize perfection wasn't improving my life. It was quietly shrinking it. I wish I could tell you there was one dramatic moment when everything became clear. Some loud argument, some door slammed, some final words that changed me. But that's not how it happened. It was quieter than that. I was in my late 40s. One evening, I came home later than I said I would. Again, work had run long. At least, that's what I told myself. In truth, I stayed because the report wasn't finished the way I wanted. It was close, just not right, and I thought 5 more minutes will make it better. When I walked into the house, my wife was in the lounge. She was resting her head on a chair. She didn't look well. But nothing urgent, nothing dramatic, just a tiredness she couldn't explain. She asked me to come sit with her, not to talk, not to help, just to be there. I told her I would, in a minute. I told myself I will make it quick, let me fix my report. It wouldn't take long. That mindset had served me for decades, until the night it didn't. I remember saying it casually, like it was guaranteed, like there would always be another minute after that one. I stayed where I was, finishing what I had started, closing files, straightening things that didn't need straightening, convincing myself I was almost done. When I finally went upstairs, the house was quiet, too quiet. She was lying on her side, facing the window, breathing, slow, peaceful. I stood there for a moment and watched her, told myself it was good she was resting, that sleep was exactly what she needed. I didn't wake her. I went to bed thinking we'd talk in the morning. We didn't. She never woke up. And here's what I learned, slowly, painfully. There was nothing I could correct, nothing I could redo, no version of better waiting at the end. All the habits I trusted, preparing, waiting, refining, they had no answer for that moment. There are things you can fix if you catch them early. A habit, a misunderstanding, even a relationship sometimes. But some losses don't respond to effort. They just don't. And I learned that after my wife died. My perfection had no instructions for grief, no checklist, no correct sequence of steps. And without it, I noticed something I had avoided for years. My children were kind to me, respectful, careful. They told me about their lives, but like you tell a neighbor, not a father. Finished stories, decisions already made. I realized then that I had raised capable adults, but not closeness. I had corrected them faster than I listened, praised outcomes more than courage, taught them how to perform, not how to pause. One evening, my son asked, very calmly, why did it always feel like nothing was ever enough? He wasn't angry. That was the worst part. I wanted to explain, to defend my intentions, but intentions don't survive time. All I could say was, I thought I was helping. He nodded. That nod told me what years of achievement never had. I missed moments waiting to improve them, missed conversations trying to say things perfectly, missed entire seasons polishing what didn't need polishing. And here's the truth I avoided for decades. I wasn't chasing excellence. I was avoiding vulnerability. Perfection kept me composed, protected, distant. But love doesn't grow at a distance. Now I understand something I wished I'd learned earlier. Perfection doesn't destroy your life dramatically. It does it quietly, reasonably, one sensible decision at a time. And that's why it's so hard to see until there's nothing left to fix. These days, when I feel that old tightening in my chest, the urge to correct, to manage, to make things just right, I stop. I no longer ask if something is done properly. I ask a different question. Am I here? Because I've learned this the hard way. You can redo the work. You can repair mistakes. You can even apologize for being wrong. But you cannot redo an absence. You can't return to a moment where your body was present, but your attention wasn't. Those moments don't wait for readiness. They don't pause for perfection. They happen once, and then they're gone. I used to believe being dependable meant being controlled, being careful, being correct. Now I know it means being reachable, letting people see you unfinished, letting conversations wander, letting the room stay messy if it means staying connected. Perfection doesn't make people feel safe. Presence does. If there's one thing I hope you take from this, it's this. Don't wait to be ready to show up. Don't polish the moment until it disappears. If this story stirred something in you, sit with it for a moment. And if you're willing, leave a comment, not to impress anyone, just to name what perfection has been quietly costing you. There isn't much time left for me, but there may still be plenty for you.